folks, and welcome to the Counting Sheep podcast, episode 23. My name is Ruth, and I'll be your host. My podcast is mostly about crocheting and knitting, also some spinning, and also any kind of shenanigans I get up to on and around my farm here in Vermont, where I live with my husband, my dog, my cat, 4 sheep, and 9 chickens at last count. So I welcome all of you, new as well as returning viewers. I hope you find something that resonates with you. So I've had a busy past 2 weeks, and I am so late getting this recorded and uploaded. I'm about 2 days late, so in my mind it's really late. But it might not be late in the grand scheme of things. So the first thing I guess I want to say is you all have seen the footage at the beginning of the podcast. Hopefully, I was at a knitters retreat in Greensboro, Vermont, at the Highland Lodge there, and a pretty little place up in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. A wonderful gathering of some very talented ladies, and had a really great time there over that weekend. Came home on Sunday, and then promptly had another snowstorm on Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday somewhat. It wasn't as big as our last snowstorm, but it's just been kind of a comical winter here in that most of the snow that we have received this season has been after the spring equinox. So, yeah, it's just kind of Vermont, and that's the kind of thing that is expected here. So, so hopefully my daffodils and my garlic had started coming up as well, and so I had to tell all of them. I think it was too early for all of you, but I think they'll survive though. And then of course we had our eclipse this past Monday, and I'm going to put some footage of that that I took at the end of the episode. So in case that's not your jam, you can just kind of click off then. But all I can say is, wow, what a show. So amazing, really. Yeah, I actually was there. I was fangirling. As soon as we went into totality, I was clapping at the moon. Well done, you. But it was great to be there. Our little farm here was not in the path of totality, so my hubby and I jumped in the car and drove about an hour and a half north of here, found a cute little spot called Joe's Pond, and viewed the eclipse there with a bunch of other folks, and it was just a really good day. Had dinner with friends at a friend's house on the way back, and then pretty much avoided all the outgoing traffic. We just avoided the highways, and we can do that because we kind of know our back roads up here. So yeah, it was great. So I'll put that footage at the end, just to say that I had a wonderful time watching the moon block out the sun. So before I go any further, then yesterday, I was going to podcast yesterday, but it was such a beautiful day outside. It was over 60 degrees. And so I took my spinning wheel outside and sat on the deck and did some spinning all afternoon. And I have some footage of that too. So I'll just put a bit of it in right now. You probably saw in the video that Cooper was there keeping me company. I think he enjoyed being outside as well. And we also have some mounds of snow as well still on the deck. But today we're having, as predicted, a very rainy and overcast day. These are our April showers, I believe, and they will probably be with us for the next couple of days. So I thought yesterday was a gift, and so decided to opt to spin instead of record. So, but here I am now. So I just want to let you know about my shawl that I'm wearing here. This is called the Hotel of Bees shawl, and it's by Christina Hattering. I think she's a spoonful of yarn. I think that's her business name. I made this quite a while ago, and the yarn that I made it in, I think, is no longer available. This is 100% BFL, and the dyer was on Etsy, but I can't locate the dyer anymore, so I'm pretty sure they're not around anymore. But this was from Phileas Yarns in their Wonderlust DK, and it is a Watt colorway. But as you can see, this is a wonderful texture lacy shawl. You've got the honeycombs, the whole bee theme here, little bee wings here, and then if you look real close, let me see if I can find it. This in here is the actual bees' bodies, done with a little bobble stitch there. So yeah, this was a real fun make. There we go. It's just gorgeous. It's really lovely. I'm gonna leave it off for now because I'm a little bit warm here. I usually start off with crochet. I've got an FO, I've got some whips to show you. I also have a finished object in knitting, some whips to show you there, and spinning, and I also have some things to show you as well there. And also some future makes. I'm sort of kind of moving into a period now away from sweater making, even though I have some sweaters I need to finish, and onto more accessory knitting since it's getting warmer, and yeah, I'm not going to be able to wear the sweaters much longer here in Vermont. So, all right, so let's start with crochet, and I will show you my FO. Now this is really hot off the hook as of today, and the ends have not been woven in yet, and I apologize for that. It also needs really good blocking, so I think I'm going to save the part of weaving in the ends until after I have it off the blocking board. But at any rate, this is the Goldenrod Sweater by Linda Scuia, and there it is. Now, as you can see, I opted for shorter sleeves. These are like, on me, these are 3/4 length sleeves. I'm going to just bring it closer so you can see kind of the texture here. And it takes it right down my little stitch marker here to tell me that this is the front of the crocheting, front of the sweater. And then you can see like these golden rods just kind of peter out, and the rest of it is just plain stitching down to the bottom. And then there's some ribbing down here. This was longer. I ripped it back and I took 3 rows out of here because it was really, really long on me, and I wanted it to be a bit short, just a little bit shorter. That length looks much better on me when it's a little shorter. So yeah. So anyway, the design moves right into the sleeves, and then there's just one row of ribbing on the end of the sleeves. So yeah, really fun make, nice pattern. I've spoken about it before. Linda Scuia has a brand new book out of sweater designs, and she loves texture, and most of her sweaters reflect the texture, and what's not to love, right? I like the nice wide neckline on this as well. So The yarn I used is called Telluride, also a yarn that's not available anymore. It was from Classic Elite Yarns, and unfortunately they closed their doors a while back. You might be able to find some of this if you're lucky on eBay or one of those sites. It is an 82% superfine alpaca. It has 12% linen and 6% donacle, which is the kind of tweedy effect that you see in there. So yeah, needs a good blocking, but other than that, it is done. It also needs its ends woven in, but you know, there you go. I'm glad that's done because sweater weather is soon leaving us. So yeah, that was super fun. Highly recommend. This is the Goldenrod sweater by Linda Scalia. All right, moving on to my whips, and I am happy to report some progress on my Genn. And for folks that don't recognize this, or you're just joining me now, this is a sweater from Morat Magazine, issue 3. It is a crochet sweater, but it is done in Tunisian crochet. I'm just looking for my hook. Sorry about all the crinkling here. I'm just going to show you the picture. How's that? So this is an interesting construction. It is a top down, and it does have long sleeves, which is not apparent in this photo. So this is kind of a round neck, and I did get quite, oh, I understand why I can't find my hook. It's in my garment. It's just right in the middle of a row here. All right. So anyway, I did make quite a bit of progress on this. Yeah, when I was on the Knitters Retreat weekend, I was working on this. And so here it is. This is the Genn, well, my Genn, which is looking so cool. And I'm glad it's kind of translating on my phone well here, my phone camera. This is a wonderful yarn that I purchased from a dyer out in Idaho. And they are Blue Barn Fiber Arts. There is their card. And this is called Blue Blooms. This is what it looks like in the skein. And it is a fingering weight yarn. This is what it looks like caked up. Anyway, I'm having a blast with this. The colorway is Blue Blooms. The base is Squishy Sock, and it's 85% ultrafine superwash merino and 15% nylon. 437 yards to 100 grams. So this does have texture to it, but you decide where you're going to place the texture. And I think I made like kind of an executive decision that I had enough texture in this. These are bobbles that you work within the forward pass row. So in Tunisian, there's for each row there's a forward pass and then a return pass. And so you do place the bobbles on the forward pass. So the return pass, you're just working off your stitches. Yeah, and I think I'm good with the amount of bobbles that are in here right now, and I may just go and make the rest of it plain. Yeah, I don't want to overdo bobbles. I mean, I like bobbles, but there's a limit to them, I think. But anyway, yeah, here's my swatch. Yeah, so anyway, Genn Morat 3. The designer is Abby Maid. Yeah, and we'll see how this goes along. I'm probably going to keep it on the short side again, because that is just an aesthetic that I like for my particular body. All right, so there's Genn sweater, and then I wanted to show you where I've been with. I showed you a little bunny rabbit that I made on the last podcast. Her name was Emma Bunny, and it's a design by Carrie Lord of Edward's Menagerie. She is a UK designer, and I won this kit for the polar bear. His name is Patra, I think that's how you pronounce it. And there he is. I just started, he's just getting started with me. This is their Toff DK that comes in the kit. Really nice yarn, very soft yarn. The kit comes with everything you need. The hook, the stuffing, the yarn, the little bit of black for the embroidery on the eyes, and also a darning needle. So yeah, here's this little body I started. I'm loving this yarn. It's really nice and soft. And I have this little brown, it's kind of a row marker that I worked into the last stitch just to keep track of my rows. And she teaches you how to do that. So, and I think it's brilliant because sometimes I fiddle with stitch markers and then they end up falling out anyway. So this kind of stays put, which is nice. So yeah, that's Patra. I'm working on him. I'm kind of got my animal, my little amigurumi mojo back. And then I just wanted to show you the kit came that I ordered from Longmont yarn shop out in Longmont, Colorado. They have all these kits. This is Morag, the Highland Coo. And he's rated as 3 out of skill level 1 to 3 because of all the little loop stitches you have to do. So I think that's why he's got such a high rating, but I think I'm up for it. So stay tuned. He comes up obviously with more yarn. He's a bigger toy, but all 100% wool from the UK. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll let you know how that's going. But I wanted to share my little animals. I think it's going to become a regular part of the podcast because I have quite a few ideas in the queue for other animals. So we'll see how that goes. So you're going to have to hold me to it because I get distracted quite easily. All right. So on to future makes. And for this, I'm going to place total blame on Claudia from Some Bird Crochet. If you haven't seen her latest podcast, she has a finished object, and it's the Take Two shawl, and she is happily dancing around in it, I must say. So I decided that I was going to partake in that happiness as well. So in case you don't know what the Take Two shawl is, it is the crocheted version of the Foxtrot shawl by Jane Retton. It's, the designer is Mariana Mueller, and she goes by Sweet Crochet Dreams on Ravelry. And this is the shawl, so quite colorful, but what you can't really see from the pictures, there's quite an amount of texture in this shawl as well, which I think drew me to it as well as the color. It does use 4 colors. Just wanted to show you what I had in mind. I went stash diving, as you do. This is from 3 Irish Girls Yarn Incorporated. And this is called their Adorn Luxe. Here it is. So you can see it's almost kind of a neon green with the speckles. So I have that caked up already. The colorway is Rolling in the Clover. 85% merino, 15% nylon. The next color, I believe, I have 2 from, believe it or not, Hedgehog Fibers. And this one, I think I purchased this when I was on a trip somewhere. So here it is. It's their sock yarn. Quite bright, but you know, I think you can use a shawl for any kind of painterly endeavors. So that's my intention here. This is called Guppy, this one. And it is, let's see if I can find the content. 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon. And then this one is called Enime, and same content there. So this is their sock yarn. So I treated myself to some skeins while I was at this particular yarn shop, and I want to guess it was out west somewhere, but this yarn is from Ireland. So, and I had been wanting to get my hands on some of it for a while. This shawl uses 5 skeins total of hand-dyed yarn, or whatever you like. This is this was from some skein club I think I was involved in, but this is from Smooshy, Dream in Color Smooshy, and this has some cashmere in it. So yeah, the colorway just says Pop-Up Skein Club, February 2018. So this is how long this has been hanging around in my stash. It's 70% merino wool, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. And then the last one is from Mitchell's Creations, and this one is a 75% merino wool, 25% nylon, and this is Funky Cold Patina. I love the names. So there's that one. And so all of these together, I don't know, it might just blow out the camera. Let me see if I can do this. Maybe like that. It's hard because I already have one caked up, so let's see if I can do that. There we go. Not too bad. We'll see what happens. I originally had these colors picked out for a sweater, and I just decided I can't do sweaters now this time of year anymore. It's a lot of knitting or crocheting, and you know, once the temperature starts to change, you just look for other things to make. I think, at least I do. Let me know if that's the case with all of you. But that's how kind of I feel about it. So yeah, that is a future start. Probably I will start that shortly. I do want to, you know, get the Genn done as well as the little polar bear. So hopefully those will be done by next time. So yeah, but I blame Claudia from Sunbird Crochet. If you don't subscribe to Claudia, you should. I love her podcast, and she is my biggest fan. I'm telling you, this girl gives me so many shout outs, and I just love her to death. So I hope someday I'll get to meet her in person. So all right, so on to knitting, and I have another finished object. If you've been here before, you will know that I've been working on a ranunculus sweater, and I thought I was the only person on earth that had not knit one yet, but nope, that's not the case. This is a class I took with Pam Grushkin. She has knitting classes online, which is just wonderful. I enjoy her very much. She has a great sense of humor, and she's a wonderful teacher. And I never thought I would knit a ranunculus, but along came the perfect yarn for the perfect sweater, and so here I am. So the yarn is Hope Made Yarn Co., and she hails from New Jersey, which is my home state. I was born and raised there, and it's done. I did long sleeves. I decided I was so up in the air about the sleeves, but once I got to the elbow, I just decided this one needs long sleeves. So I went ahead and did that. I was wearing this earlier today, but I got a bit warm, so I really needed to take it off. But I will put a picture that my husband took of me in this lovely sweater right here. So yeah, here's the front, here is the back. And my only issue with this sweater is the designer has you do a special technique right at the underarm joint and that sort of thing to hopefully mitigate that hole that you inevitably get when you're doing a top-down sweater. And I found the hole worse with that technique. And it might have been user error, like I might have not understood the pattern all that well. But I was, following along with Pam, and she said this is how she does it. But Pam did warn us. She said, when you start the sleeves, leave enough of a tail so that you can go back and close up any holes there are. And I'm really glad I did, because I did have to do quite a bit of duplicate stitch on both sides of either sleeve. So it's fine now. It's good, but the hole was huge, and it was really bugging me for some reason. And I had to go back, like the sleeve wasn't done yet. I was still knitting the sleeve, and I had to go back and fix it because I couldn't deal with it. And when I get like that, I just have to laugh at myself because it's totally ridiculous. But anyway, so that's the only issue I have with this sweater. And it's a small one. So highly recommend otherwise. It's a really neat pattern. And the fact that you can do this sweater in yarn weights from fingering to Aran, it's just a mind blower to me. So yeah, that's the ranunculus. This is Hope of Hope Made Yarn Co. This is her DK. She calls it her Splendid DK. 85% superwash, extra fine merino, 15% nylon. This stuff is like butter. It's next to skin soft. I had this on with no t-shirt underneath, and I was still warm because the weather's changing. But yeah, very nice warm sweater. And yeah, the colorway is, oops, can you see it? Sweater weather. Sweater weather. I have to say it slow. Yep. So, very nice and well done with the yarn, Hope. Alright, so that is my ranunculus. Done and done. That needs a good blocking as well. I got done with it a couple days ago, and it sat. And then I wanted to wear it today, and I hadn't blocked it, but I figured, okay, let's see if my body can block this, But it really could use some time on the blocking board. All right, on to whips. I wanted to show you my halftone. This is a sweater by Kim of Indigo Knits. I've shown this before. Two color sweater. You start with the dark color on top, and then the lighter color. You do some color work in between, and I made some progress on this. I actually into the color work part. So another top-down sweater here. It's been quite a theme for me. So let me take these off so you can kind of get the whole effect here. So anyway, here it is. And as you can see down below, we've got the color work going on. This is done in J&S 2-ply. This is FC 37 mix. And the bottom color is 203, I believe. Yep, and I have a cone of that. So yeah, humming right along. This is a fingering weight sweater, and it does take some time to knit the yardage that you need. I should say the inches that you need. So yeah, and the cone yarn is unwashed, so it still has some spinning oil in it. So it's going to look different before the whole garment is blocked. It's obviously not going to look its best. So yeah, this is going to need a nice blocking when it's all done. But yeah, like to get that one finished up too, so I can move on to my smaller projects for the spring and summer. But fun nonetheless. So enjoying that one immensely as well. Nice pattern, very clearly written, and yeah, highly recommend. So let me just put that back on before I start losing stitches here and there. Just want to show you that blue. It's really a blue with reddish undertones to it, and looks really good with jeans. All right, so that is my halftone. And then the next thing I want to show you is very special. Couple podcasts back, I showed you the yarn, or maybe it was last podcast. I showed you the spinning yarn that I spun from Dirty Girl Fibers. And this is it all caked up. And I said that I wanted to make this sweater. So when I was up in Maine in February, at the end of February, I was on the hunt for just that color to go with it, and found this from Maine Yarn and Fiber Supply. And this is their Sacco yarn base. It's 100%, no, sorry, that it's 80% superwash merino wool and 20% nylon. It's a fingering weight. Yeah, and I'm trying to see, I'm having trouble. Dutch Mood, it's called. I was having trouble reading the writing there. So Dutch Mood, and I got 3 skeins of that, and swatched it up. Swatch in the round. And here is the start of my Nordic Nights. By the way, if you subscribe to Jen Steingass's newsletter, she's having a sale right now. Every day, I think it's halfway through now. It was every day for 15 days, and I think there's probably 7 days of the sale left. She gives you a code. You can get 50% off her patterns on Ravelry. Just saying. Anyway, so here is where I'm at with this, and I am just loving it. I'm hoping the camera and the lighting can help with this. So, but yeah, pretty. I think in person it looks a little better. But yeah, it's knitting up very nicely, and I'm happy I went with this color combo here. Yeah, so we'll see. Got quite a ways to go yet on the yoke of this sweater. Yeah, I think it's, let's see, the yoke has 55 rows, and after you do all the short row shaping, yeah, 55 rows. So I'm not even halfway yet. So her yokes are just breathtaking. They're a work of art, really. And some of her sweaters have the cuff detail, like this one, and some of them don't. And even if they have a cuff detail, you can elect to have it or not. So, and you know, you're the boss of your knitting. So yeah. But yeah, really liking my hand spun with this. Even though I've blocked the yarn, it's gonna need another blocking with this yarn, just because, you know, just to make it fill in all those extra spaces. So, but yeah, that's fun. That is fun, and the fact that she's having a sale right now, way too tempting. I think I might have bought 2 more patterns from her. because that's what you do when there's a sale. Am I right? Gotta be right. Alright, so Nordic Nights. Coming along nicely. And then, of course, I've got another whip that I wasn't expecting to have on the needles. On my way up to Greensboro for the knitting retreat, I stopped off in St. Johnsbury at their local yarn shop there called the Yarn Bank. Two very nice ladies own that establishment, and they treated me like royalty. And great customer service. I was telling people at the retreat, I'll be back, because it was wonderful. But what they have there are some local yarns, local made yarns. And when I see a yarn that has a wool content, a sheep breed wool content, other than the sheep breeds that I own, I kind of jump on it. This one, while I have Finn sheep in two of my girls, this content is 50% Finn sheep, 30% Cotswold, and 20% Falkland, which, like, what a wonderful content. And then when you feel it, it's so soft. So 3 different wools, sheep breeds, in this. Feels wonderful. And the ladies caked it up for me while I was there, while I waited. They also printed the pattern out for me. And it's not on Ravelry, so if you're interested in this pattern, it's called Nemu. It's available at this website here. I don't know. I may put it on the screen because, not everybody can read my chicken scratch. Yeah. And this is, the Yarn Bank in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. But they're wonderful. And she printed this pattern out for me while I was standing there. So I bought some needles and I cast it on while I was up at the retreat. So just want to show you that. Some little cable work. This is a cowl. And so squishy, so soft. Wonderful small project for the spring and summer. So yeah, it's a worsted weight yarn. 200 yards to 4 ounces. I bought 2 skeins, and I will probably be back for more because they have it in a darker color than this, and there might just be another project that I need to do with this lovely yarn. So yeah. So that's the Nemu. Nemu? Really bad with pronunciation. Lovely little textured cowl there. So, and it's been a while since I've done some cable work, so it's kind of nice to jump in that pond again. All right, and just want to say that I have a project that I really need to get on the needles because, as you know, if you've been with me, I've got a trip to the Shetland Islands on the books with my husband. When you go to Shetland, you should probably wear something made out of their wool. And since it's going to be in July, I'm really not sure how warm it's going to be there on the island, but I know since we have to take a ferry and it is an island, it's probably going to be windy. So this is the Shetland Wool Week 2023 hat, and it's called the Bugaflora Beanie. It's a nice colorwork hat, and it is knit up in Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift. And I just happen to have all 6 colors here. And hoping to get that cast on soon, and so I'll be able to wear their signature Shetland Wool Week beanie of last year. Perhaps on the boat and perhaps on the island as well, just to keep my hair contained in case it's really windy. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. I even have my needle, project needle, in the bag so that I can just go. These are nice little skeins. You can just work right from the ball. So. All right, on to spinning. So I have been doing some Southdown, and I finished it yesterday while I was sitting on the deck in the nice sunshine, 60-degree weather. And so that's what that looks like. It's really spongy, and yeah, so I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I have 2 spools of singles of this Southdown, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to use it as a singles, which means I'll just wind it off and skate it up from the spool, or whether I'm going to apply these 2 together. So stay tuned on that one. I did this on my Lendrum wheel. And then I have an e-spinner now, an Ashford e-spinner that I managed to pick up. Actually, the luck of the draw, somebody needed to sell their Ashford's e-spinner when I was up in Maine in February, and I was able to get a really good deal on it. So, and so this is the fiber that I've been spinning on that. This is from Hello Yarn. It's called their Paint by Number, and it's Targhee, Bamboo Viscose, and Tussa Silk Top. So, and I have another one of theirs. This is from the Fiber Club as well. This is from Hello Yarn, and it is Will-O-the-Wisp. And this is 23 micron Targhee wool top. And then when I was at the Knitters Retreat 2 weekends ago, a lovely lady walked up to me. Well, actually, she did a call out and asked if there were any spinners in the room. And my friend Krista said, "Ruth spins." And the woman came right over to me, and she said that she had bought this braid on a whim, or she thought she was going to learn how to spin, or I don't know. There was a story. And she said she'd come to realize that that was never going to happen, and she wanted to give this to a spinner. So she gifted me this gorgeous braid. This is called Mystic Waters, and it's 80% merino wool and 20% Tussa silk, and it was hand dyed by Miss Babs. All right. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Miss Babs, she has quite a following. So much so that people line up to get in to see her at Rhinebeck, which is the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. And as soon as they get through the gate, they make a beeline for her booth. And I have never bought anything from Miss Babs because anytime I've been at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, her booth has been a mob scene. Literally a fiber mob scene. You can't get in to see anything, and then once you see something that you want, there's a big long line to stand on. Granted, you can get things online, but I like to see at least this kind of thing in person a lot of times, because you can get a feel for the color and also the shine that the silk has in the braid. So I feel very fortunate to have been gifted this by a literal, total stranger. But then again, are we all total strangers in the fiber community? I mean, we're all such giving people anyway. So, but anyway, moving on here. So these 3 things, the 2 from Hello Yarn and this one from Miss Babs, I'm just gonna spin them up on their own. and also kind of do a 3-ply technique so that the colors blend a little. And was thinking if I have 200 yards of each, if I can come out with 200 yards, which I think I can easily, I was going to knit up this wonderful thing, which I saw my friend Tammy wear. She made this. This is Andrea Mowry's Shift cowl, and it uses 3 different variegated yarns. Now, of course, I'm really not sure how this is going to look until I spin up this lovely fiber. So this is going to be an experiment for sure, but all 3 of them are lovely. They're all lovely fibers, and so I think they would look and work well in a cowl. So so yeah, so stay tuned for this little adventure of mine. So, and yeah, I think that is all for me today. I'm going to say goodbye now since I've spoken long enough. So just take care of yourselves, and yeah, keep making all the good things, and I will see you in less than 2 weeks now because I'm a little delayed here. But yeah, so take care of yourselves, and I will see you. Hi folks, here we are. The long anticipated, long hyped, for weeks and weeks and weeks. We're on our way to see the total eclipse of the sun in our little state of Vermont. I'm not driving. Here's the navigator. Take you along with us. So this beautiful little spot that you're seeing here is in West Danville, Vermont. It's called Joe's Pond, and beautiful little site. It is about an hour and a half north of us. Our farm is not, or was not, in the true path of totality, and we really wanted to see the total solar eclipse, so we made our way up, and as you can see, we're not alone, but I think we got really lucky that there weren't crowds and crowds of people around. It was kind of windy when we got here, so just doing a voiceover here because you really can't hear my voice. There's hubby, and there is my crocheting.